You are muted. One of the questions in the chat is, can you hear me? I can't find my mute button. You are all muted. You will not be able to talk to us. However, head down to the chat and punch in a question. Coach Ward, the person that you talked to and said hello to, Robert Papakina, I apologize, wants to know if he can carry water this year.
Oh, yeah, he's in. He already knows that.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Great. And with that, we will officially welcome everyone to tonight's conversation with Florida Southern College men's lacrosse. My name is Chris Gonzalez, for those who don't know, and I will be your MC tonight. Tonight's conversation is brought to you by the Lake Myrtle Center for Advanced Dentistry. Dr. Henry Acosta, of course, is no stranger to the men's lacrosse family. He and his staff do a great job. Their office up in Auburndale, where he's been since 2004. Great people. Dr. Acosta takes care of us. He is certainly, he and his family are part of our family, obviously. So the goal here tonight is to simply talk men's lacrosse, Florida Southern men's lacrosse. So please, we do ask that you keep all questions related to the men's lacrosse program. As Al Green just mentioned earlier, those questions can be submitted via the chat or the Q&A feature down at the bottom of your Zoom panel. Al will be monitoring those, and we will be answering them throughout the course of the 45 minutes. So, of course, don't forget about the Men's Lacrosse Booster Club, which is the primary fundraising arm for the program. It helps provide scholarships and support for the men's lacrosse program, and certainly allows our great coaches to do their job. Everything from recruiting to scholarships to retention to providing the best possible experience we can. So we do certainly thank everyone from the Booster Club who is on the call tonight. At this point, let me go ahead and introduce several people. I've referred to earlier, of course, Al Green. Al is our Associate Director of Athletics. And again, Al will be handling the chat feature, and he'll be handling the questions. With that done, with that said, let's move on to the head coach of the Moccasins, Coach Marty Ward. Marty, of course, is the second coach in the program's history, taking over the reins in 2011. In his first 3 years, Florida Southern, of course, Deep South Conference and produced 22 all-conference honors. Coach Ward was named the Deep South Co-Coach of the Year in 2011 as Southern Advanced Championship game. Florida Southern made a repeat trip to the Deep South Conference Championship a year later in 2012. Since the Moccasins began competing in the Sunshine State Conference in 2014, Florida Southern has produced 26 all-conference selections, including the 2014 Co-Newcomer of the Year and 2015 Conference Player of the Year. The Mocs have produced 4 All-Americans in its brief history, including a 2-time winner, DJ Lubes. A member of the Cherokee Nation, Ward has played goal at Limestone College, where he helped the Saints advance to the NCAA semifinals 4 times, including 2 spots in the championship game. At this point, I will hand over the reins to Coach Ward to introduce his staff, and we'll go from there.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Obviously, our staff is made up of 2 very good assistant coaches, 2 full-time guys that have been with me for a long time. Coach Lubes played for me for 4 years, actually played for me for 1 year as an assistant coach, left, and then I became the head coach, and then he came back and wanted to back up some more with me. So he came back and became the first All-American in program history, 2-time All-American. It's a pleasure to have him back on the sideline wearing the red and the white, representing the Mocs. And then Coach Macario came with us 4 years ago from DeSales University in Central PA, and has been a staple for us in the recruiting process, and has helped us tighten up our defense, and has done a job just in personal relationships on campus. Been able to really extend the arm of our culture here at Florida Southern. So, Coach McCarroll, you want to say things about yourself?
Yeah, not too much to add. Very blessed to be my 4th year here at Florida Southern. Running the defense with obviously help from Coach Ward and Coach Lubes. We try to be a very innovative staff in what we do. We want to be very aggressive as well. So that's just kind of our mentality. And we want to bring in players that are like-minded like that, guys who want to be aggressive, gentlemen who want to be challenged. So that's kind of our mindset going into this season as well. Just dealing with the ongoing situation. But I was lucky enough to attain an MBA in 2015. I do have a background in the business department, in that world. So I kind of really been trying to help our guys, stay on track with that too. And then just kind of some insight about, at least the business field. Very important to try to get 2 concentrations in that field.
Coach Lubes?
Yeah, I was a 2014 graduate of the exercise science program at Florida Southern. Had an honest to God blast playing underneath Coach Ward. That was part of me coming back, and really enjoyed the university. I know at the time I learned from Al Green as an athletic training student a couple years, and I like we say in the office and like we say every day. I mean, it really is a family environment. So truthfully, for young men that are looking to, like Coach McCarroll just said, to be pushed and are looking for that support network, but at the same time are looking to maybe reach outside of who they normally are and get out of their comfort zone a little bit. I mean, Florida Southern's the place to do it. I know that the majority of our team is made up of young men that are actually from outside the state of Florida. I know myself, I came down from Michigan. Coach McCarroll is a Philly guy, and then Coach Ward himself is a New York guy. So we're very comfortable helping students get acclimated to those challenges of navigating what to do when they're outside their parents for the first time in their lives. And that's something that I think we do very well. Yeah.
That's great.
Great, thank you. The 3 of you all touched on a lot of different points that we will absolutely expand on during this call. Some great ones, everything from majors and the diversity of the program, people coming from all over, as well as the alumni portion, as well as the student athlete experience, and certainly that family atmosphere, because that's very important to this program. And certainly, Marty, you guys enjoy a wonderful group of parents, very supportive, and really it helps create that family environment. How important is that to your program, and is that one of your main focuses?
I think it's engagement is important from a cultural standpoint. You just can't have the player be bought in. You have to have the families be bought in. And it's been a trip, since like taking this program over when I was 24 years old. It's a really hard transition when you're in your 20s running a program. And now I think the last 5 years, we've done a really good job of shifting and evolving into a real family-based program where it is an all-encompassing, engaging experience for our players. We say it all the time, to all of our recruits and all of our guys, that this is about you becoming a better person too, not just about a lacrosse player. We can talk about wins and losses and X's and O's all we want, but if we're not creating and cultivating good people through our program, then we're not doing our jobs as coaches. And that's a passion of mine as a head coach. And I know that Coach Lubes and Coach McCarroll feel the same way, and that's why they're on staff with me. And, we've been able to really hone in on that portion of our culture the past couple of years, big time. And our parents are great. We always say sometimes we have more fans at away games than the home team, and that's just how the Mox families roll. We appreciate all the support and we know that all your sons work really hard for us and they're great young men and we enjoy coaching them every day.
I'll say this, I'm going to jump in and talk about your parents because they are awesome. The camaraderie that I see with your parents is just kind of unbelievable, whether it's the pregame tailgate or the postgame tailgate when they're feeding the team. A couple of your early games when you were first on campus, some of our other athletes were kind of leaving from practices and stuff, and there's this great spread, and they were just upset. They were just really upset that the athletic department doesn't give them that kind of spread after their games. And when I told them, oh no, that's the parents that do that, they were just blown away. So parents that are listening, you guys are awesome.
Sure. And certainly that alumni experience, DJ, as you alluded to it, that was a part of your decision to come back down to Lakeland and join the coaching staff here. Are you still in touch with a lot of your classmates, a lot of your former teammates? And are they still part of the program?
Yeah, sorry. Just wanted to jump you off. I was so excited. I do keep in touch with a lot of my classmates, and I know I'm not even like one of the best ones. I know some of the guys get together and see each other almost on a weekly basis. We just had an alum, Kyle Plugger, not Kyle. Sorry. Oh man, got the jitters. Anyways, we've had some weddings recently, which have been awesome for the guys. But yeah, I think our guys do a really good job of staying in touch, and I know it's been a big part of my push. I know I've kind of shied away from doing my alumni emails. It's been a hectic fall, but I'm planning on getting right back to those and keeping those guys in the loop. I know we enjoyed a pretty big, I wouldn't say a strong alumni squad at the last alumni current game, but at the same time we had a strong showing, and I'm really excited to continue to develop that, and hopefully we'll have even more alumni on campus and hopefully on the sideline in the future.
Absolutely. I agree. I think you had close to 60 alums back for your alumni game, which is a very impressive number. So it was fun watching some of the old guys running up and down the field. So
yeah, if you can call it running. Yeah, sure.
Now, just to take a step back, Coach Ward, as I mentioned in the open, you are a member of the Cherokee Nation, and you are currently the only Native American head coach in the NCAA. And several pieces, in there, obviously with the focus on diversity this past summer. I know you have, you spoke on several panels, but also for me, we teach the game. For you, it's you're teaching your culture. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think just touching on, my heritage, being a member of the Cherokee Nation from my grandmother's side, through my father, my grandfather's Snipe clan of the Onondaga Nation. And he was a big part of my growth as a lacrosse player, not just as like a lacrosse coach, because he never coached lacrosse, but just as a guy who always put a stick in my hand. And then, my father, being the sports guy that he was a hockey, football, lacrosse guy, and we always had a stick in our living room. Like, it didn't matter what house it was. Like, there was a Sherwood hockey stick in the corner. There was a STX high wall or a Woody, or something was sitting there with a ball or a puck next to it that you could, pick up and go play. And that was just our culture of our upbringing, of my upbringing. It was either ice skates, footballs, or lacrosse sticks, and then, just being in that sports background in upstate New York, and, playing and growing up with the culture of the Onondaga Nation, and some, more of my people up there, and the heritage that I have with my grandfather's background, and just everything that all encompasses lacrosse, the creators game, and the Hunchiguais, which means they bump hips, is very important to educate right now. Like, that's the big word, is education. And people don't know what they don't know. And the game is so much more than just like a rule book and 2 goals and you go out there and play. It's tied to more of the spiritual side of life. And when you start understanding that connection that you're supposed to have with your stick, and you start understanding the connection you're supposed to have with the game actually enriches every aspect of your life. And that's a piece that I think that is really important to me as a coach. I don't harp so much on, history of the game and things like that with our guys, because a lot of guys won't connect to it just being not from that background, but we do play it with an edge and with a spiritual attitude that, you know, we want to be connected with the sport. And that's part of my goal as a coach, is to ingrain that in the squad. And, you know, we have Woody Wednesdays at our practice where the wood stick comes out, and it's on the field every week. And it's a lot of fun for guys, you know, to be able to pick that wood stick up and play with it at practice or pre-practice, whatever they want to do. And it's just a lot of fun. You know, it's a good tie to the sport and the originators of the game and the heritage of the game. So it's a great connection we have.
Well, and you still remain active with the Iroquois national team.
Yeah, right. Yeah, currently I'm serving as a assistant coach with the U19/U20 team that's going to be competing in Ireland next summer. So, you know, we were supposed to play in Ireland this past summer, but we all know, you know, the delay with the COVID, you know, put a damper on things. But that's planned for next summer. So I'm still actively involved in the program. I'm on the Iroquois National Alumni Panel that's trying to help with fundraising and mentorship for Native American youth as well. And it's been tied in with the Native American community in a lot of different aspects. And it's definitely a passion of mine and my family's.
Sure. Now, your coaching style, certainly, you know, as lacrosse is still the fastest game on 2 feet. Your coaching style emphasizes that. You guys get up and down the field, and certainly it's a fun style of lacrosse. Can you talk a little bit about your coaching philosophy?
Yeah, we play a full field game. We don't play a specialized game. We like to play full field offense. We feel like offense starts when you cross the midline, no matter who has the ball. Defensively, I know Coach Mercurio touched on it. We like to play very aggressive defense, super simple slide packages, win your matchup, you know, and play great position. We have tough goaltending every year here. We have good face-off guys, and we have really athletic middies and really good attackmen that know how to play the game. And, you know, a lot of the stuff they do on the field is all just based on what we do in practice. You know, we play that up-tempo style. I get a lot of my stuff from basketball. A lot of things that we do really well are from a lot of drills that I've taken from hoops. A lot of concepts that I've bounced off of other basketball coaches, and just figuring out how to play that up-tempo shot clock friendly style of lacrosse has been awesome. Like I was a big fan of the shot clock coming in, and I'm a big fan of them lowering the shot clock, you know, to even less time on the clock for college lacrosse. And I think the more we take the control factor out of the coach's hands and put more of the decision making in the players' hands, that's when it's going to be a lot more fun for the guys to even play the game. But the game's a lot of fun right now. I can't say anything bad about the rules and what's going on in college lacrosse. I think it's awesome. But yeah, our up-tempo style definitely fits two-way midfielders, athletic defensemen that are rangy, and tough attackmen that can finish the rock.
Now, you mentioned rules changes. What are your thoughts on a 2-point shot?
I love the 2-point shot. I love it. I think we should have a 2-point shot. I think it would be awesome. I think it should be tiered for each division, though. Maybe a D1 2-pointer is a little bit further out than a D2 D3 2-pointer. Maybe that's something that we can work on. I don't know, but I love the 2-point shot. I love the shot clock. I love everything about that.
I think we have to get you on the rules committee.
We'll see.
Coach Green, Coach Green, we have any questions coming in so far?
Oh my gosh, we've got lots of questions coming in, most of them dealing with recruiting. So we'll spend a little time on recruiting. One of the first questions, although this doesn't in a way directly with recruiting, but they want to know, what's a typical day like for an FSC lacrosse player?
Coach Mercurio or Coach Lubes, you guys handle that one.
I can take it. So We're very, just overall better team. We're very much a blue collar team, very big weight room team as well. So we do have a lot of dual sport athletes on our team. So a lot of ex-football guys, basketball, ice hockey, soccer guys that have a weight room background. So we're going to get up early, in the fall and either run, condition, or lift. And then in the afternoon, we're going to practice, or vice versa. If we practice in the morning, we're getting a lift conditioning session in or something in the afternoon. We're certainly going to maximize our hours per the NCAA, depending on what time of the year it is. So our fall ball season, it looks like we have an 8-hour period that bumps up to 15 and then back down to 8. When we're in season in the spring, we're 20 hours a week, 6 days a week, for the full year. Granted, during that 20 hours a week, we're not going to be running and conditioning and, squatting 400 pounds every single day. A lot of that time is allocated to film work, scout prep, game prep and things that we do. But our main focus in the fall, for example, is the strength and conditioning program and developing our guys, IQ and development, so we can get game ready. As Coach Ward said earlier, we don't micromanage our guys on the field, especially on the offensive end. We want our offense to be free flowing and allow the guys to make plays. With that, obviously it's going to come mistakes, but we don't want our guys to be scared to make mistakes. So in the fall, a lot of our practices and drills that we do is going to develop our guys' IQ and skill set. For that, so a lot of small-sided number stuff. Right now what we're doing, it's a lot of smaller group work with our guys, developing their IQ, really working on the basics. And once we get that done, round it out too, then we'll move on to bigger picture stuff. So in the fall, we really don't focus on 66 stuff until maybe that last month to get ready for our scrimmage. But a lot of our time is spent on developing our guys in the fall. That's kind of how the hourly portion is broke down for the NCAA for Division II. And like I said, we're definitely going to keep our guys busy. We are early risers. To get things done. So, we're going to work our guys hard here too. Our guys appreciate that. And the guys that, love that grind and that mentality do very well here at Florida Southern.
DJ, you were here, you graduated 6 years ago. How have the practices changed from when you were here to how they are now with you being one of the coaches?
Well, for one, I think we traded some of our cross-country shoes for more cleats, which is nice. But in all honesty, I think the intensity is ratcheted up a little bit more. I think from the time that I was a young man to now, I think the coaching staff in the past couple of years has done a really good job of making sure that things flow. Not that they didn't before. I think the groundwork was definitely laid a couple of years before that. But I think truthfully, I think it's a good time. We have a small portion of the beginning of practice, which is more allotted to skill work and small group work. And then we tend to taper that. And depending on the day, it might be more fast break oriented, or, in the early parts of the season, it might be more based on education. But we make sure that the guys are, like Coach Macario said, always getting up and down, that their skills are always going to be tested. And then we do like to keep things fun. Coach Ward said it best. We draw a lot of our drills from basketball, from those associations. So we're not always playing on if we're playing a 6-on-6, we might not be playing it in a typical half field set. We might be playing 4-on-4s or 3-on-3s or 3v2s or 54s and doing it, in a corner with a just the alley and a backwards goal, or keeping things just interesting. So that way we're testing guys. And again, we saw the framework of that last year, but I think moving forward, and I mean, even the time that we've had on our hands to kind of brainstorm a little more has been productive. And at the same point, we do like to keep things regimented. So that there will be some drills that stick around, because those drills, we believe as a coaching staff, are monumental to building more mental toughness and things of that nature.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys go out recruiting, what are you looking for? What skills, what traits, what abilities do you look for in future mocks?
I'll start. I think it's about everything you do. It's real easy just to look for the quick talent, or, the kid with the quick first step, or the biggest guy on the field. But, I want to see everything you do. I like to get to the field early. I know coaches do too. Watch how you warm up, watch how you interact with your teammates, watch what kind of person you are as well. How you take a penalty, how you get a penalty, or how you give a penalty, how you react if you're not playing well. You're coming off the bench and sitting down, and throwing your helmet on the ground, or you are tossing your stick, or you slamming it on the ground after you make a bad play. Like, those are the things I think that stick out the most. We want well-rounded guys, and I think the guys that we recruit, all can play. There's no doubt, but now it's about those intangibles. It's about those little things that are going to separate, our program and our culture from other programs and what they bring in. And I say it to our guys all the time. We win a lot of recruiting battles because we get the guys that we know are going to succeed. And that's like, it doesn't have to be the top 10 kid. We can be very good with a lot of guys that we develop because we see the future. We see what they look like as a sophomore. We see what they're going to look like as a first year or a first semester junior. We look at transfers now too a lot. And the transfers, we just don't try and bring a bunch of guys in. We try and bring the right guys in. And that's a combination of doing our homework from talking to their high school coaches, their club coaches, and their college coaches, their previous college coaches. So it's a grind, but we're really committed to this thing to really do it the right way. And I think we've taken a huge turn culturally in how we recruit. And I got to just commend our assistant coach, my assistant coaches, Coach McCarry and Coach Lubes do a lot of that communication. And, I'm in there in the trenches as well on the phones and texting and emailing as well. But, these guys do a heck of a job identifying box. So we're moving forward in the right direction right now.
Particular, I've got a question. What do you look for in your goalies? Anything different?
I'm a big fan of the guys that have a presence in the net. Not to say like size. I'm not saying size, but just a presence about him. So when you're watching a keeper play, that he runs the show. Like that's his goal. He's not, timid about anything. He's confident in his decision making, even if sometimes it may be the wrong decision. We like aggressive goalies. We like goalies that communicate. The big thing that we do here in coaching goalies is we don't try and change your style. We just try and make your style just a little bit better. We try and fine tune the little things, and we work a lot with the keepers. And I feel like we have a really good goalie group right now, and we've had good goalies in the past, and we're just really excited to keep developing the next generation of keeper.
Great. Next question is, how do you decide how many mock players to bring in?
Well, we keep a roster of 60. So every year it depends on who's graduating. And then obviously there's all guys that don't come back, for certain reasons, or they just don't come back to play lacrosse. So we try and fill those holes with our recruiting class. We'll bring in anywhere from 12 to 15 to 20 guys a year. It just depends on what the year looks like. And we communicate that right up front with all of our recruits on what we're bringing, and we try and travel 40 guys to each away game out of state. And then for in-state games, FSC games, we try to bring the whole team, and the bus maybe doesn't fit all 60 guys. And, a bunch of the hurt guys and maybe some of the red shirts, they got to ride in a secondary bus with one of the assistant coaches, but everybody's there on game day for our SSC games. So we're really just trying to engage all the guys on the team the best we can.
We've gotten a couple of questions regarding scholarships. How do you determine how someone gets a scholarship?
That's a case-by-case basis.
Good answer. Next question. How big a part does academics play, and what kind of academic support is available to your players?
Coach, you want to hit this one?
Absolutely. Academics are obviously a huge part of Florida Southern. I believe we have great academics here, whether or not it's medical sciences, our business program. If anybody's interested in our business program, we have an AACSB accreditation, which is something only 5% of the colleges around the world have. We have a lot of guys on our team who are also doing criminal justice, and the school's invested a ton of money in academics in the last few years with new buildings. We're very excited about the new computer science building. I heard it's going to have its own, drone pad landing on the roof. So I'm very excited to get in that building and check it out and look at it. But academics are a huge part of life. We understand that our student athletes are students first. There is a line between being, a student and an athlete. At times it is very thin, but we're very concentrated on athletics here. We have mandatory study hall year round, for our student athletes on our team. I'm sure many other coaches and or at Florida Southern also have that as well, but academics play a huge part of that too. And that obviously goes towards, looking at transcripts of potential recruits. We actually have a ton of academic support here. Hannah's not on this call, but we have a compliance director, Hannah, who does an amazing job with our student athletes. The underlying lesson in college is going to be your time management skills. She actually can color coordinate a daily schedule for our student athletes about what time they're getting up, their practice, lifting, conditioning schedule, class schedule, their eating schedule, leisure time, study time, and what time they're going to bed. Granted, not all of our student athletes take advantage of this too, but I know a lot of athletes midway through the semester will schedule a meeting with Hannah if they haven't done so already. She's also the point of contact our guys go for if they need help with tutors or group study tables or just extra help in general, here at Florida Southern. So we'll get our athletes in contact right away with Hannah if they're potentially taking a class in the semester that they know they may struggle with, so we can, get them in the first week or vice versa, a couple weeks into the class. If our, the young men on our team think they might be struggling, they'll certainly go and set a meeting up with Hannah. We also have a student union center, help our guys out with internship help, resume help, help writing papers at a college level. So we have a lot of support here too. It's really hard to, fall behind here in Florida Southern. As coaches, we also get 3-week reports from our student athletes. So we know if they're missing class, not turning in assignments. Luckily enough, we don't have to do that too many times. That goes what Coach Ward was saying. It's not only recruiting talented young men, but, good people as well that value, academics here.
Coach, our GPA is good.
Yeah. Last semester it was at 3.39.
3.39 and then a 3.2 overall career GPA. That's, I remember a couple times, Al, we used to eat last at the banquet.
Yes, you did.
It's tough. It was tough. All the good food was
We're hungry coming from practice, Al. Come on, man. We want that the cafeteria noodles. They're good. They're good.
That's right. It's always important to note that the athletic director makes that decision of going with the academic.
Oh, I know. That's FSC. That's why we love this place. We love
That's
it.
right. And that's why I'm glad that you've gotten that GPA up, so you guys are eating a lot sooner.
Yes.
It's easier on the CAF staff or on the catering staff.
That's right.
Next question, prospect days. Have you got more scheduled for this spring and summer?
We're working on it.
Perfect.
We're working on it. Probably winter time and then summertime. We usually do a couple. So just be patient with us, and we'll be reaching out to all of you guys.
I have a question from one of the parents. Is how do they get more involved?
I think it's right now. I think it's just the booster club's the best way for us to funnel and organize. Other than that, they can reach out directly to me via email, and we can communicate and set up a phone call or a video conference about how they can get more involved with the program. I'm all ears on help. We all need help in this. Every team, every athletic department needs a little bit more help right now, and it doesn't have to be monetary help. It can be support from a different way. And I think we've set a really good standard here with how we do things with our parents, and it's not a overbearing, parent involvement. It's like perfect. It's like parents take care of what they're supposed to take care of, and enrich their son's experience by being good parents to them while they're playing in the program and going to a good college. And it's like, if we can have that all the time with everyone, we're going to be rolling pretty steady here.
Great. One other interesting question. Do you have other day-to-day traditions like the Woody Wednesday?
Monday Run Day. Takeaway
I like
Tuesday.
Takeaway Tuesday the best as an
Takeaway
effect.
Tuesday is the best one.
That's double
Oh.
burpees if you get Takeaway Tuesday.
Yeah.
Woody Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Feel Good Friday.
Yeah.
Day Saturday. Usually, I think game days are Saturday, so Feel Good Friday is great. You know, just upbeat music at practice, just trying to keep it as loose as possible. You know, and it's a lot of fun. You know, it's a lot of fun. So, but you know, Monday Run Day really is special sometimes.
I'm just going to go with some of these random questions because we've got a lot of them coming in.
Cool.
I would like you to talk a little bit more about the 2-point shot. What does that mean?
Well, in basketball, how they have a 3-point arc. In the pros, in the PLL and the MLL pro field lacrosse, they have a 2-point line. So if a shooter hits a shot from behind the arc, it's worth 2 goals.
Interesting. Next question is, with COVID canceling your spring, affecting your fall, how are you making up for lost time?
Making up for it? I don't think you make up for it. I think you just hammer day to day. I think it's a process, right? So like even with our kind of pause that we went through the past couple weeks with athletics, like we didn't let it like grind us down to the point where we felt like we couldn't catch back up. Like we just said, all right, well, let's start this week, you know, like this week, let's not just jump back into lacrosse. Let's run a little bit. Let's get back in the weight room. Let's start getting our routine back, you know? And I think that if we got to just tackle everything in the present day right now with the way this world's going, you know, I think every day can change. And, you know, I know all we're worried about right now is tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. lift and you know, the afternoon, you know, practice session tomorrow at 4 to 5, you know, like that's what we're concerned about. So, you know, we're a big process staff, we're a big process program. You know, I mean, Coach Mack from the basketball squad recommended a book for me last spring. It's called It Takes What It Takes. And it was an excellent, you know, Audible book that I listened to for about 2 weeks in the season. And it hit on a lot of things like the process, like don't overextend yourself when you know you have to do it a certain way, a certain day. Just let's get the job done that day. And eventually, you know, putting that good, consistent work in is gonna pay off at the end.
Very good.
Also, might tag team on that. I mean, like you said, you know, we've had some tough times with COVID, but I think speaking to the young men that we've been bringing in, they've kind of taken it upon themselves to get those extra lifts and that extra field session. Coach Macario and I are getting blown up by our guys like, hey, can you guys unlock the cages? Can you unlock the field? And so again, that's just the culture really taking hold. And I mean, those aren't from our seniors per se. I mean, those are from sophomores, juniors, freshmen who are just hungry to be out there. So just to kind of pat our guys in the back, if you guys are listening, I mean, great job so far. And again, looking forward to adding to that.
Get on that lake though.
Yep. Times are key.
This may be coming from one of our opponent coaches. They want to know, what kind of formations do you typically run offensively?
Open motion. We run an open motion set. We run a lot of 2-man games. We run a lot of off-ball screens. We're very creative. We put the ball in the guy's stick and let them have fun with it.
This may be a DJ question. What do you think is the best thing about being a lacrosse player at Florida Southern?
Ooh. It's a good question, because there were a lot of great times. You know, the bus trips stick out specifically. We used to take a lot of bus trips to Carolina just because that's where a lot of the competition was early spring. And, you know, when you're on a bus for 12 hours, like you get to know your teammates pretty well. So I think the team and the family aspect of being a Florida Southern lacrosse player has always been, you know, the best thing about it. Like I touched on earlier, I mean, we still got guys keeping in touch. We got guys all over the country keeping in touch. We got guys that are coming back, stopping by the office to say what's up. And, that doesn't change. And I know some people will say that's everywhere, like a business school is everywhere, but like, it's not the same. So honestly, I think outside of putting on the red and white and maybe throwing a good hard slap check on a Rollins or St. Leo or Tampa kid, I think that's pretty much it. The family.
FTH, coach.
Yeah, FTH all day.
That's right.
Chris, I'm going to send it back to you and wade through some more of these questions.
Great. Good luck with that. Some great questions coming in from our audience. So keep those coming. We appreciate that. We'll try to get to as many of them as we can, certainly. You guys kind of are touching on a little bit that the family atmosphere. And Coach Ward, I'd like to kind of bring you back to the third week of March. Very special trip planned for the men's lacrosse team with a 2-game road swing up north, originally on the schedule. First game, Frostburg State, a brand new Division II program. But the game was going to be held at Homewood Field on the campus of Johns Hopkins. And certainly that is the Yankee Stadium of venues here in college lacrosse. So I'll take you back to that and certainly let you tell the story, kind of how everything developed for those 2-3 days.
It was a wild whirlwind. Understand, like the night before we got on a plane to go to Philly, we flew from Tampa to Philly. And the night before, I was on the phone with multiple people from up at Hopkins and Frostburg and Chestnut Hill, and just trying to grasp what was going on in the Northeast. And it was kind of like everything was status quo, like, you're okay, we're still playing. And then we got on the plane, and when we landed, our trainer looked at me and said, the WHO, the World Health Organization, just issued that this is a pandemic. And I looked at her, and I didn't know what a pandemic was. And I kind of went, okay, what's that mean? She says, well, it means that this is pretty serious. And we kind of carried on with our day, and, we're smart about everything. And we went from Philly to Baltimore. We went to the U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Fame. We were able to get a nice tour there and hang out there. We had a nice lunch and at the hotel and had a great practice at Hopkins. And it was like a really special night. We were really excited for the game the next day. We had it all set up. Our hotel was 10 minutes from the field, and we were staying right in downtown Baltimore. And we woke up the next day and we're eating breakfast, and it was like first class all the way, just like all of our road games are. And the boys were in good spirits. We felt good. We felt loose. And all of a sudden, like, bottom dropped out on us, and it was phone call after phone call about us trying to get home, and that the season was in jeopardy, and that we weren't going to play the game against Chestnut Hill and on that following Saturday. And we ended up deciding to drive 3.5 hours away from Baltimore, and we didn't make that decision until probably 2:30 in the afternoon, and we had a game at 7 that night. And hats off to Coach Gardelman and those guys up there. They did a great job. They were really excited about the game. They really played it like it was, they played to win. And we played a lot of our guys that didn't play a lot during the season. And we kind of went with an all senior lineup, our captains, and for the whole starting lineup. And it was a pretty special night for that, because we could have made the decision the other way with that game. And instead we said, you know what, like, guys that usually don't play a lot, like, you're going to play this game. And seniors, you're going to play a lot of this game, because we don't know if you're going to get another chance at this thing. So we made that decision. Ended up losing the game and ended up going back to the hotel. And little did we know there was a huge parent party waiting for us with pizzas and drinks and smiles and laughs, and I'm sure there was some tears. And the biggest thing was we had to drive back on a bus the next day, 18 hours from Western Maryland to Lakeland. And I still remember leaving the room and walking through the lobby and seeing, we told our guys about leaving at 6:30 in the morning, So breakfast was at 6. And I walked to the lobby at 6:15, and every single player on our team was in the lobby eating breakfast. And that's like when I really knew like that we were doing it the right way. We did it the right way. We turned the corner. Like we were going to go as far as we could go last season with that team, because that was a special group of guys, and they bought in and they were all in on the philosophy, and they just worked really hard, and they were on time for everything. And I was super proud of them. I couldn't believe it. Like that was the moment when everything clicked, that all this is working. Was like in a hotel lobby at a Hampton Inn in Western Maryland at 6 a.m. Like that was when I was like, this is working. Like it's working. We got to keep it up. So we drove 18 hours back, and then after that, it was all done. You know, guys went home for school, and we were back in late August. And, it's been a heck of a whirlwind, but we've done the best we can trying to stay connected. And the guys know we love them, and the guys know that we're here for them, and we say to them all the time. And, you know, and we are a family. You know, we celebrate the little things, and you know, we cry together, we laugh together, we swear together, and we work really hard together. That's us as a group. And that's Florida Sun Lacrosse. So, in a nutshell.
I love that story. I've heard you tell it several times, and to me, because obviously there's more to life than just lacrosse, and that message, that lesson certainly has been echoed several times throughout this call, you know, in different places. And you know, as we talked about the academic portion earlier, hey, we're going to make sure that you get your degree. We're going to make sure that you earn, and then we're going to help you get a job and help you succeed in life.
Yeah.
That life is bigger than just lacrosse. And certainly, you know, that trip and that example, when you get out to Frostburg and you say, hey, seniors, you got some of you guys that don't always play all the time. We don't know if there's going to be another game. This is our senior day. Yes, we're going to fight to win the game, but that's not the number one priority here tonight. The priority is taking care of our seniors and taking care of our family. I think that's a very valuable lesson.
Appreciate that. It was a tough decision to make. You know, I know Coach Lubes and Coach Macario looked at each other as well and said, you know, like, what do we do here? Like, you know, and we decided that's what we're sticking with, you know, because the competitive juices start flowing, you know, and you know, we just made that decision, stuck with it. But that's who we are, and that's who we're always going to be. We're going to take care of our guys.
That's a great point. I'm going to go ahead and switch gears on you real quick, as we're certainly starting to run low on time here. One topic I know that we all kind of wanted to talk about a little bit is the diversity within your program. Certainly a diversity in terms of where your student athletes come from. As you have a great mix, you know, it's not just the hotbeds, Long Island, Central New York, Philly, Baltimore. You know, certainly as you guys do recruit a history of Canadians here in the program, and you know, DJ, of course, and others from Michigan and Arizona and California, but also from a pure diversity standpoint, Coach, your program is one of the most diverse programs here on campus. And I know that's important to you. So if you could just talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll let DJ jump in on this, Matt, Coach Macario as well. But, you know, the big thing for me is, like, it doesn't matter where you're from, what your parents did, what high school you went to, what club team you play for. Like, it just depends on what kind of person you are and what kind of player you are. And if you fit our bill of a blue-collar guy, somebody who wants to work extremely hard every day, get great grades, and then graduate, get a great job, and have a great experience, then Florida Sun's a great spot for you. And we've done a really good job identifying those guys and bringing those guys in. And that's been the pitch for these guys, you know. And we have a group that's so incredibly eclectic from what they like to do, you know, not just lacrosse. I mean, we have just like outdoorsman type players, music guys, design, graphic design, business. Like, it's just incredible. Like, when you go down our roster and see who we have and where they're from, and just being able to build these relationships with guys from all over the country. I think that's what attracts a lot of people to Florida Southern in our program, is that we're not just based out of one area of the country, or we're not biased towards one area of the country. You know, we're really truly trying to find the best fit for us and the student athlete. So, you know, I think that we are a pretty diverse group, and that we do challenge our guys to think that way as well. You know, we're a very accepting group. You know, we're not a cliquey team. Like, we want guys to be together all the time. And we've heard nothing but great things from our recruits in the years past when they were able to stay with players and do official visits, that it's like, man, you guys are together. Like that's what I want to be a part of. And those are the guys that we want in the program as well. So, you know, everyone brings something special to the table. I always use that like a pot of gumbo. You know, we just try and mix it up and see, you know, let's keep stirring until we get it right, you know. And that's no other way to describe the Mocs. You know, we're all over the map, and we're getting back into Canada now in our 2021 class. And it's an exciting time right now. So if Coach Lubes, Coach Mercurio want to touch on anything diversity wise, go for it.
Yeah, you know, I think the coaching staff, you know, when I came down to play, I had no idea that there'd be other people of color on my team. As a matter of fact, the coach that recruited me didn't know that I was black. He had never seen me before. So hair came up because there used to be a policy of, well, you can't have long hair. And so I remember Chase Drulick had to have his hair cut when he came down. He's from Southern Florida. He talks to the coach at the time. He goes, well, what are you going to do about DJ? You know? And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, DJ's black. And so that policy is quickly done away with, to say the least. But yeah, it was like, you know, moving from a student to a student athlete to being part of the coaching staff here, that was insanely important to me. Coach Ward's heritage and not just being native, but being from a public school and an area that that kind of common bond of that chip on the shoulder of like, I can play, and I know I can, from an area where there are better schools, but like those guys can't really play. Like you're looking at the field right now. So I know that's really what attracted me. And again, that's really what I think attracts a lot of our guys, is that they might be from some of those traditional areas, but maybe not the primo school. And other guys are getting overlooked because they look the part. You know, they have the right helmet or whatever else it is. Yeah. I think that's really it. Our guys just really understand that we do like to be chippy because of that, and prove that we have something every day, and that what we have going on here is special. So that's just how I feel about it. I got shivers thinking about it because I love this group. So Mercurio, you got
well said.
I mean, like Coach, you just touched on like public private, right? Like we're 3 public school guys coaching at a really nice private school in Florida, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's just a cool dynamic, right? And I think the way we've been able to identify public and private and JUCO and D1 transfers and D2 transfers and kind of D3, and just bring them together and like figure out who fits with what and why we're bringing certain people in, you know, has been an awesome experience. And it's just getting better and better. But, you know, that public private dynamic is pretty cool.
I agree. We're starting to run a little bit low on time, so I'll throw it back to Al for a couple more questions as we wind down.
The first one is not a question. This comes from Flash, and he is giving you a quote, which is, "It takes what it takes."
Yeah, Flash, I got you.
Can you give everyone an idea, although it's certainly not set yet, but an idea of the 21 schedule? What's it going to look like, do you think?
We're right now we're playing everybody in Florida. We'll be playing right now scheduled Palm Beach Atlantic February 6th, Florida Tech February 13th, Rollins February 20th. Lynn March 3rd. And then after that, we get back into our conference schedule starting March 13th for Tech again. So, we got basically 4 home and homes, and then everything else is in conference play from March 13th on. So,
I've had a couple of questions about walk-ons. Do you have walk-ons, and do you have tryouts?
I mean, I don't know if we have tryouts. We tell guys, if you want to come, it depends on like when you're ready to make that decision. We'd obviously like to meet you first. We don't necessarily have a lot of guys that just show up on campus and just come out for the team and they end up working out. Like we have, if you're going to be a walk-on, you still have to meet with the coaching staff at some point. You have to talk to you about what this thing is going to take, because it's going to be it's not going to be easy, and it's not a walk in the park. And like we've said throughout the entire Zoom, it's about the culture. It's not just about wins and losses. So we want to make sure we're bringing the right people around us.
Switching gears a little bit, the question has come in for Coach Ward. What do you consider your best victory since you've been at Florida Southern?
Oh, I don't know. That Mount Olive game last year was pretty big. I think I got to take it way back Wednesday to 2011. Mars Hill, number 7 in the country. They came into town. We were unranked, never beat a ranked, or we beat a ranked team the year before, St. Leo in the playoffs or in the last game of the season. That was with you, Lubes. You were on that team. Good win, too. But that Mars Hill game was awesome. Stevie Boyle, hat-trick in the fourth quarter, fresh off the bench, freshman. Hopper with the game winner in OT. Andrew Almondsberger with the doorstop save in OT to keep us in it. I mean, I could rattle off about 10 wins, but that was a win that, it was awesome, OT, and it was just a great win. I just remember our guys, they were so excited when we won that game. And it was just like, I mean, we were just patched up bad news at that point. We were just doing what we did. And next thing you know, we came out and beat the number 7 team in the country. And it was a really cool win. So I'll never forget that W.
DJ, as a player at Florida Southern, what was your best victory?
Yeah, a lot of good ones. Shoot, one of the most memorable, I'll tell you, was playing and beating St. Leo again. It wasn't just like beating, like kind of thrashing them, but right out back before the field was turned over. It was our
the playoff game.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah. It was the first time we were allowed to play on campus. So that was awesome. And I mean, we had a great team that year. I'm still hurt. We didn't end up capping that, but it is what it is. I mean, the guys came out just full of it, just lit up goals. Defensively, we were stout. I think we ended up beating them 12-3 or something like that.
We hung 18 up.
Was it? It was it. Okay, yeah.
18-7 was the final, Coach. 18-7.
Sorensen had 10.
You get 10? Oh my God! I just remember just looking around at them, and just when you can see somebody's energy is just gone, and you guys just
They did that to us too, though. Recently,
they did. I know. I'm sorry.
It all comes back full circle.
That's true. Yeah. So that was one of them. And how about the game? It was Mars Hill again, but up in South Carolina. That was a good one. That was
the OT at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Hilton Head.
Mm-hmm.
We were down 11-6 in the fourth quarter, and my grandfather was on the sideline in that game. Remember that?
Yeah.
Was strolling the sideline. Oh man, I think I kicked a water bottle at Coach V.
Sounds about right. There was a stick that went flying. I remember that.
Naz hit the game winner.
Yep.
In OT, Kevin Nislansky from Ward Melville, and then Trinell Bogans took that kid's candy twice and ran it down on fast breaks and fed Dane, and Dana just stuck it. It was that was a comeback right there. That was good. We watched some funny movies after that one on the bus ride home.
It's a good times.
Chris, I'm going to flip it back to you.
All right, wonderful. I think that last story, that's a great way to end this call. We do certainly want to thank all of our attendees for attending and joining us tonight for a conversation with Florida Southern Men's Lacrosse. We certainly want to thank all of our coaches, Coach Ward, Coach McCarrio, and Coach Lubes, for their time tonight. And of course, we want to thank the Lake Myrtle Center for Advanced Dentistry. Dr. Acosta and his group, again, do a wonderful job and have been longtime supporters of the program. And we certainly do appreciate the Lake Myrtle Center for Advanced Dentistry. A couple other pieces of housekeeping. Of course, our Men's Lacrosse Booster Club is the primary funding arm for the program. It helps provide scholarships. It helps provide all sorts of the recruiting trips. Going to find all these eclectic student athletes is not an easy task. And our coaches do a great job scouring the country and bringing in the right student athletes for the right fit. One last piece, every Wednesday, the athletic department, we host an Instagram takeover where different student athletes from different sports take over our Florida Southern account and show everyone what it's like to be a student athlete here at Florida Southern. Tomorrow's takeover will actually be 2 student athletes from our water ski program. Make sure to pay attention because we are going to have our men's lacrosse student athletes one of these weeks during our Instagram takeover, where you will get a very, very hands-on look and witness what our student athletes go through on a daily basis. So with that having been said, again, thanks to our coaches, thanks to Al Green for all of his help and support. And thank you again, all the attendees, for your support, continued support of Florida Southern Athletics. Thank you all very much and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you,
Go
Chris.
Mox.
Bye, everybody. Go
Go
Mox.
Mox.
Go Mox.
Thanks.